It's one of the softer ones, so you may want to.
This is one of those games that I have so much trouble getting the audio right for because I like to zoom into the battles, and that's when the audio
And
goes
then your
through the
ears
roof.
break.
Yeah, it's and I've done that with the Star Trek Armada devs. I had like 4 of them, and we were playing against the Borg or something, and I had the audio so jacked at that. It was so bad. Anyways, hello, ladies and gentlemen, CaptainShack here, and welcome back to Star Wars Thrawn's Revenge 2 Ascendancy, a mod that I haven't played on the channel for almost a year now, but I'm not alone. I'm joined for the first time by Corey Loses. Is that what you go by on YouTube?
Yeah, that's my channel name. Corey is what I go by. You don't have to point out that I lose all the time.
You put it in the name, man. It's not my fault.
Yeah, but you don't have to say it every time you say my name. That's just depressing.
I think I have to. You've set a precedent. Okay,
right,
so
well, either way, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So I'm so happy to have you on because you have eaten so much of my free time because you're, correct me if I'm wrong, like the lead dev for Ascendancy and for Thrawn's Revenge for Empire at War.
Yeah, so I'm the lead developer for Thrawn's Revenge, Imperial Civil War, Ascendancy, and Fall of the Republic now as well.
All right, just for a minute, for all the would-be and current mod authors out there, like 99% of people who go on the internet and say, I'm going to make a mod, and they start a forum post somewhere, and then they get about, 2 days in, and then they quit. It's like, most mods don't make it. You've got 2 out and a new one coming out.
Yes. I don't advise that if that was the point you were trying to get to.
I was like, how do you manage that? That is awesome.
It's more not knowing when to quit and being incredibly stubborn than any positive qualities, probably.
Those are the qualities you need to be a good mod author. The inability to quit and being very stubborn. Well, we're going to be checking out the latest version of Ascendancy for Sins of a Solar Empire. If you guys have never played Sins of the Solar Empire, this is Rebellion, which isn't really it's a standalone. It's not really an expansion. It's standalone, right? I've owned this thing for a while.
Yeah, it's a standalone expansion.
Okay, standalone expansion. You can find it on Steam, and I don't know if you can get it on GOG, but you can find it on Steam. And there's a ton of mods for it. I think it is. It might be. Anyways, we're gonna get into a match, and you're gonna show me all the cool stuff that's in the newest version. I'm really excited about this.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Host new game. Now, what you were saying, what map should we play on?
It's called Balance Point. I think it's either in small or medium maps.
All right, medium. Balance Point. And this is one of the new ones for 1.1?
Yes. It's the only... We re-added support for the random maps, but we also made this map. We want to make a couple more as we go between the releases. I didn't have a chance to make as many as I wanted to for this release. It is one of those.
I'm just looking through all the victory conditions right now. So, all right, let me host the game, and you feel free to join it.
Right.
Now, treat me like a total noob, even though I'm obviously an expert Sins player.
Oh, for sure. The victory conditions, we can either leave them all off, or if you have flagship victory mode on, there are some extra heroes you get. Your flagship is a hero ship.
How is the AI, though, with it? Because I was always worried the AI is going to just throw them.
That's always the bad part with it.
Yeah.
The AI can be a little weird with them.
I'm worried they're going to just like throw them into my defensive line and bam, game's over. So, all right, let's just do us versus them. Now, what for the sides? I don't know what's new in 1.1, and the last version you guys released was like a year ago. Who do you recommend that I try out today to kind of show off some of the new mechanics or some of the new units or whatever is out in this version?
There's a fair amount of new stuff with all the factions. I'd say we did a new thing with the Remnant where you can sort of pick your tree, your leader tree, and you'll get some different text based on what you do there. So you can go with Admiral Dalla, Admiral Thrawn Pelion, or Palpatine.
Sweet.
With Palpatine's, you get the Eclipse, Galaxy Gun, World Devastator. So he's kind of the Scorched Earth branch, and then Dalla and Thrawn are a bit more towards the regular fleet branch. So if you want to check out some of the super weapons, then you can go with the Empire and Palpatine's branch. The PENTASTAR alignment has a lot of new art assets. It's got the Raider Corvette from some of the newer tabletop games, and it's also in the upcoming Battlefront 2 game in some way, I think. But really, all the factions have something new to look at for this.
They get the Bellator 2, Naval Command Station. Yeah, I'm just looking at all the options. I love the new UI elements, by the way. This is really cool. And then the New Republic. I'm not going to do the New Republic, you guys. Maybe I'll do it in like an actual full Let's Play because they're obviously the better of all the factions. They're my favorite. So
you may like doing the Pentastar alignment because that is where you get Venators, and I do know you like your Venators.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the one where I can choose Thrawn as a leader. I'm in the middle of reading the new Thrawn book, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think having Thrawn, where is he? That would be the PENTASTAR?
That would be the Remnant.
That would be the Remnant, Imperial Remnant. Here we go. Yeah, let's do this. This would be fun. So we'll jump into this. Who are you going to play as?
I will.
I gotta change my color.
I think I'll play as the Pentastar alignment.
Oh, okay. And we should defeat some dirty rebels. So let's throw on at least one rebel. And what about just a rogue Imperial Remnant we'll throw in there?
Sounds good.
Or no, let's put Empire of the Hand, because we don't have Empire of the Hand in here yet. There we go. Nice mix. All right, start it up.
All right.
Readied.
That was quick.
There we go. So if you guys don't know, Corey has his own YouTube channel, and it's not just development stuff over there. I actually know you do... oh, there goes my scout. He's running off. You do a lot of stuff for just like all kinds of, Sins and Empire War mods, right?
Yeah, so basically whatever I'm playing at the time, but a lot of what I do is I do a lot of preview playthroughs for our upcoming projects. So right now I'm doing a lot of Imperial Civil War playthroughs for the Thrawn's Revenge mods for Empire at War. And so I talk a lot more about the development side, so talk a bit about what goes into the projects.
Okay.
Whether I make the thing or not, just trying to give a bit of insight into how some stuff was made or was probably made if I didn't make it myself.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, that's something that you don't really get from most of the the Sins of the Empire War YouTubers. You don't get that inside look. So I'm building a civic and a military station now, and I'm gonna look at what I've got for research. I've got, is that Lambda Shuttle already? What is that? Oh, that's
like a broken icon.
Diplomatic envoy vessel.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at my early units and what I can start researching. Like straight up TIE Interceptor first thing. I could get the Tonfalk carrier. Now you guys do fighters differently in this, if I remember right, don't you? It's not antimatter anymore as a resource for ships. It was fleet supply, I think.
Yeah, so your fighters will take up fighter supply on your ships as they spawn out. So you need to keep fleet tenders around your ships or set up resupply depots on your planets. It was just sort of a way to keep an emphasis on fighters, but also make it so that the game doesn't end up completely revolving around them, and you can sort of catch a fighter-heavy fleet at a time when it's not going to just annihilate your ships.
Okay, cool. Where do you get the fleet tender from? Is that a new capital ship, or is that like a cruiser?
So for the Imperial Remnant, you are going to want the MTC and also the Altor. The Altor is a capital ship, and the MTC is one of your cruisers. They have the resupply and repair abilities.
Okay, Altor. Oh, that's battleship. I'm looking at. This is the wrong spot. So that would be one of my cruisers. Altor, Victory class, Mobilizer, Victory.
Star Destroyer ready.
Oh, Fleet Tender. Here it is, the MTC. So that's the cruiser.
Yes.
Got to do the research for that. And then there was a capital ship for it. I'm building Star Destroyers right now. Yes. Beautiful.
It looks like a sort of big container, the capital.
The torpedo sphere. There it is, Fleet Tender. The Altor. All right, cool.
The art for the torpedo sphere is kind of terrible right now. That's one of the ones that we do plan on redoing coming up at some point. For anyone watching my perspective as well, the Lucre Hulk is a model that we have redone the model for, but I just wasn't able to rig it for this release. It'll be in the next patch.
All right, I've got my fleet. I'm trying to... Forgive me, everybody who's been playing Sins recently and is like, Shaq, what are you doing? I keep trying to hit all of the Stellaris buttons, so like WAS and D to move around the map. Yeah, it's not good. I'm trying to center my focus on ships with Q, and that's not how this works. So, yeah, just bear with me for a minute. So we got our first Star Destroyer. I'm going to pick up a couple of TIE fighters to take out enemy fighters if we come across any dirty rebels. Overwhelm. What's this? Transfer engine and shield generator power to weapons, dealing more damage for a short time. Yes, please. That sounds delightful.
Ready for ground assault.
I feel like we need some more ships before we move in. So, I love the new UI. I love that when I zoom out, I can see obviously where my research stations are with the little beakers. That's cool. It says Durasteel next to it, an extractor, cabana gas. That's what the model looks like for this. Ah, zooming everywhere. Very cool.
Destroyer here.
I don't know how strong this ship actually
Carrick
is,
en
so
route.
let's just go in.
One of the things for the Imperial Remnant that you might want to keep in mind is we've added heroes to this build and mod, and your heroes that you get as the Remnant will depend on which
Moving to
regime you
sector.
go down. So if you're going to go down Thrawns, you get Thrawn and Pelion. In ISDs, if you go down Palpatines, you get Palpatine in the Eclipse. And if you pick Dallas, you get Dalla and the Nighthammer, so you can have 2 executors at any given time.
What? Oh, that is awesome. Oh,
That's
here's
sort of
here it is,
her
regime
main
change.
We
attraction.
have found an apt site for further.
Oh, this is good. Nighthammer. So that was Dalla, right? Support
Yes.
Dalla.
We have found an apt
What else
site
is she
for
like? What's her focus other than just having epicness?
So she is fleet focused, but still with a bit of an SSD focus.
Okay.
And then Thrawn and Pelion are straight like ships of the line, like your ISDs, your
An Imperial
strike
fleet is
cruisers,
under
your
attack.
Carracks. They provide a significant bonus to your frigates specifically. So it's a 10% combat bonus to health and damage output for all frigates and cruisers for them. And with Palpatine, it's like straight super weapon and very little focus on the fleet itself. So they're kind of a spectrum.
I like this. I like that you've kind of got almost 3 factions here you can choose from. This is really cool. Oh, I don't know. I could have Thrawn as a commander. Well, you said Thrawn was like ship of the line, right? So you're talking ISDs and your
Yeah, so you're going to be focusing a lot on your ISDs, a lot of frigates in your fleets. With Dalla, you're still going to have a bit of that, but you're also going to be really built around Dalla's SSD.
Mhm.
And because Thrawn and Pelion also give a significant command bonus themselves if they're around. And then with Palpatine, you're basically just going for your super weapons and trying to use them until they burn out.
Okay. Oh, I love that they've actually got different straight up. Like you start off, I can get the assault bomber, the scimitar assault bomber, or I can get the TIE droid if I go with Palpatine. Like you've actually got a sovereign star destroyer. What? There's so much stuff to try. Crimson Command. Oh, these are the victory classes. They're like red victory classes.
Yeah, the
right?
red ones.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the extended universe. The what is it, like the kind of the old lore? I hate to say it, but yeah, people would cringe when I say
Legends.
that. Legends lore. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me do some more research. I don't know what I'm gonna pick yet, so I'll just wait on that. Let's see how the fleet's doing.
Captain reporting.
I sent them into battle and I haven't even been paying attention. I'm sorry. Retaliator.
They're just Imperial lives. They don't matter.
Nah, there's plenty where that came from. Get in there. Flying bombers coming in. Couple of victories. Now, have you guys changed how like the different type of planet classes work or anything like that?
We haven't done too much work on the planet classes themselves since the 1.0 release. One of the things we did do is we changed up there are some event spawns that can happen, so some neutral spawns at the start of the map, where you'll sometimes come across planets that have the shipyard rings,
Yeah.
and they give a production bonus for any ships built there. They'll have a shipyard built there already,
I think. Oh no, this didn't have one.
and you can come across stuff like the Katana fleet, and we do have a center point thing set up. We haven't implemented it yet for this patch because we're still working on some of the abilities and particle effects, but that'll be coming up in the next release as well.
Destroyer here.
In the base game, there tends to be a lot more uncolonizable gravity wells.
Under your orders.
We tend to have just the actual planets, and then some stuff like gas giants that aren't colonizable.
Captain reporting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm in the middle of. I don't know if I can like. So this has got a question mark on it, but I've already been to this sector.
Lancer
There's
frigate
ping.
ready.
So like, there's the system that I'm
Allied
attempting to
ship is
capture.
under attack.
Mhm.
I'm going to return my ships there now.
Star destroyer ready. Deploying to sector.
And I've got my, what are the capital ship abilities for you guys who just saw me grab that? This is the Retaliator ISD, and I picked up Established Garrison, which is the colonization ability. But I love that you guys are using Established Garrison, like I'm sending stormtroopers down there to build a base.
Yeah, it just seemed weird for all these planets that would definitely have people on them, especially if you go to like a Coruscant style world and then you're colonizing them. It just seems kind of
It's a little strange.
not thematically correct.
Destroyer
Indeed.
here.
No,
Okay.
my Venator.
Oh, are you getting wrecked over there? Let me zoom. I gotta see this. So I should be able to see your stuff since we're allied. We have located the Rebel Alliance in there, or the New Republic, excuse me. And then I don't know who these guys are. Alexan refugees? The Luxian refugees? Oh,
those are just one of the random militia names from the base game. We're eventually going to work on trying to make them a bit more lore friendly for spawns at the start, but that's probably not going to be an immediate focus. We want to work on getting a bit more variety in the militia forces, so some ship types that you wouldn't come across, or that you would come across in different parts of the galaxy, instead of just being all Imperials everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, you're expanding so much faster than me. I gotta get with it.
Captain reporting.
All right, fleet.
I'll
Come
save
on
some
now.
planets for you.
I appreciate that.
Cruise fire at will.
Let's get that other Star Destroyer in this fight. Now, I notice
Captain reporting.
I've actually got, 2 capital ships starting out?
Moving to sector.
Am I just really capital ship heavy?
We are a bit more capital ship heavy in general than
Moving to sector.
the base game is. So you are limited to a total of, I think, 30.
Moving to sector.
But you do start out with access to a bit more. Like in the base game, capital ships were so far above anything else you do, whereas in Star Wars, it's a bit more of a...
Because I'm building my
spectrum
third
that
ISD now, which is...
Yeah.
That seems like a little different. I'm not used to having 3 ships coming out of the capital ship assembly yard so quickly.
We have found an
Yeah, like a VSD2 is a lot closer in power to an ISD1 than like a cruiser in basins was to the capital ships. So you do have access to a bit more at the start, and then you scale proportionally as you go on through your research.
Captain reporting.
And your fleet supply is actually in your military tree instead of being its own tree.
Yeah, I saw that. So this used to be, for anybody who hasn't played Sins before, this research tree right here used to be its own tab somewhere, where you would research these 2 different technologies. It's been a while since I played Sins. One would be how many capital ships, you can correct me if I'm wrong, capital ships you'd get, and the other one would be like just your normal fleet pop.
Yeah, that's all correct.
And now you've moved that into what used to be, I don't know what this used to be in the base game, but so now that's how you guys are doing the regime change, is it?
No, actually, with the Remnant, we turned their foreign affairs into the regime change, and then because they're going to have less diplomatic tech than any other faction, but we changed the fleet logistics tab into the quick reference guide there. So that's where we're going to put anything that would help people learn some of the mod specific stuff. Right now, this is still, I think, the same as what it was in the last version, but there's some extra stuff we're going to add in there. Like, we did change how fleet upkeep worked a bit. So it used to be that you just, whatever tier of research you were at, you'd pay a flat cost as a percentage of your income. And we've kept that in. We've lowered it a bit, but we've also put a cost on each ship. So if you have a full fleet, you're not going to be making as much money as someone who's had their fleet wiped out. Because in the base game, one of the bigger problems is that you just make so much money by the end of the game that it doesn't matter what happens to your ships.
Yeah.
And we're trying to address that in a few different ways. It makes it matter a bit more how you manage your economy.
Okay, so if you get your fleet absolutely wiped, you'll start making a bunch more money so you can replace it, keep you in the fight, or...
Yeah, so it's... if you have a full fleet for a long time, you won't have as many resources to immediately rebuild it entirely, but you will start making money faster to start replenishing it, which lets you catch up a little bit better, but it also means if you are a front runner, you're not going to keep making that much money and just stomp everyone with no chance of ever losing, which could sometimes be an issue.
I'm picking my next planet to conquer. Let's go. Kashyyyk! Oh, Wookiees! Hey, you guys are screwed. Let's move out, fleet.
Destroyer here.
Now, I want to see your, I haven't seen your Venators yet. Where's your fleet at? It is...
if you look at Polis, I've got a Venator in there. It's kind of on fire right now, so...
It's kind of on fire, but no worries. Yeah, I see it with your droid control ship here. And there she is. Yeah,
I'm getting missions to attack you right now. I'm gonna ignore them for now, but just want you to know I have my options open.
Oh, I see this alliance isn't as steady as I thought it was.
I want to make sure you appreciate what we have here. I have options.
I
Captain
I might be
reporting.
getting a better offer. I'm just saying. I see.
You're the one that didn't lock the teams.
Ugh. Why is it every time that I get a Sins mod author on here, they try to betray me? This is BS. Talking about you, Gull.
New facility.
Talking about you, man. He's watching this. Oh, I researched the Tonfart carrier, and I'm probably not saying it. Is it Tom Falk? Ton Falk?
Yeah.
Carrier? I'm building, let's build 2 of those. Sentinel dropship. Dropship capable of launching planetary invasions.
Facility is
Oh, is this my siege ship?
No, that's your quote-unquote colonizer.
Because that would
Your colonizer frigate.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you have your scout, which looks like a mini version of Lambda or like an old school Republic shuttle, and then you've got your Sentinel dropship. Which okay, so this is your colonization. This is dropping my stormtroopers on the ground to claim the planet and the glory of the Empire. I need to do some victory class research. So,
Unlike the base game, we don't have a dedicated siege ship other than something like the torpedo sphere. Instead, most ships are capable of some amount of bombardment. So you don't need to specifically focus on building certain types of ships for that.
you can build Golan platforms for defense. Oh, there's so much good stuff. Let's get a civilian infrastructure upgrade on this new planet.
This world's infrastructural capacity has been reached.
Gotta relearn. There's logistics. Okay. Trying to find my buttons. Civic
Moving to
research.
section.
There we go. Then my carriers will get completed soon. I'm trying to make my way toward you.
Secure.
So, but then I got distracted by Wookiees. That's right. Never mind. I'm not even going near you. Totally going the opposite direction I like.
Star Destroyer
I was like,
ready.
oh, I'm gonna connect our territory so I can bring you reinforcements if necessary. And then I saw Wookiees and said, screw that.
I'm gonna start building some scouts for us.
Oh, this is great.
So we don't...
I just came out of hyperspace, and it starts playing, Dual Fates. Over Kashyyyk getting, like, wrecked.
Yeah, one of our artists spent like a week just picking through a bunch of Star Wars tracks. He got upset. He got strangely obsessed with it, setting up all the battle music and everything.
Hey, that stuff counts, man. I understand.
Destroyer here.
All right, let's see.
Captain here.
I'm not saying he was wrong to do it. It just got a little creepy for a while,
Oh,
but it's all good now.
indicator cruiser. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on the new lore. Like, have you been watching Rebels or reading the new books, or are you guys kind of like all about that
Destroyer
extended
here.
universe, the legacy stuff?
All the mod stuff, especially or at least in Ascendancy, Imperial Civil War, and Fall of the Republic, will be focused on the Legends canon because that's where it's already set, and Legends is a lot more fleshed out than the new canon.
Mhm.
But so far, I have been watching Rebels. I've been enjoying that, and the only book I've read so far from the new canon is the Thrawn book, which I thought was really well done. So I don't have a lot of people seem to have a problem with it, or seem to think you can't like both, but
Star Destroyer
I
ready.
haven't had a problem with it so far.
I mean, from the people who don't seem to have a problem with it, they've told me that it's not completely separate. Like, they haven't said straight up that a lot of the events didn't happen, the larger events. A lot of the character stuff obviously has changed, but like Thrawn's story could still kind of go the same way. I'm really enjoying the book. I'm only about halfway through it, so don't tell me anything. Obviously, no spoilers here. It's just a good character. And Rebels was my first introduction to him. And I don't know if you've listened to the audiobook for it, but I highly recommend that to anybody because the audiobook has the voice actor from Rebels. So if you've already kind of gotten used to that being his voice, you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's really well done. All right, so where's the
Scanners
damn
online.
carriers that I just ordered?
Scout
I
ready.
ordered you guys to the front line.
Destroyer here.
Seems like forever ago. There you guys are. So these are the
Secure.
Imperial small carriers. I assume there's another cruiser that's probably a carrier other than just our ISDs. What have I picked up so far? Type bombers on these guys? Yeah. And I need to pick up a fleet tender.
Allied ship is under attack.
I haven't done the research for it yet. What do I need for you?
We lack
3
the
military
required
labs.
installations to fulfill that order.
Did I not build one? It's not done yet.
We lack the required installations to fulfill that order.
Military lab. There we go.
Stormtroopers
So,
have secured a
you
planet.
surprised me, I think it was like a month ago or a few weeks ago, with the new mod you guys are working on, and you know I'm pumped for it because I love the Clone Wars era. You want to tell the audience about what you guys are working on now?
Dreadnought cruiser.
Yeah, so we recently announced that we were reviving the Fall of the Republic mod for Forces of Corruption, which is a sort of Clone Wars era mod that we're doing a lot of stuff
Moving
from
to
the
sector.
style of Imperial Civil War.
Destroyer
So
here.
we're actually going to be going a little bit before the Clone Wars as well, to some of the events that happened in the build up to them. So when everyone was still trying to figure out how to remilitarize.
Wing commander.
So stuff like the Stark Hyperspace War, Mandalorian Civil War, that's all stuff that we'd like to cover eventually. We're starting off with just the 3 years of the Clone Wars and everything around that, but we do eventually want to expand it to have a lot of the story elements that we're trying to build into Imperial Civil War and go beyond just the Republican CIS.
En route. Understood.
So
Destroyer ready.
we won't be working on that directly until Imperial Civil War 2.2 is out, but we're going to be working in a lot of the same abilities and upgrades that we've been doing for Imperial Civil War into it. So stuff like the single unit retreat that we've shown.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. If you guys don't know, in Empire War, just to tell people what this is. So in the base game, if you retreat your entire army in Empire War, right? So everybody hyperspaces out. This is an ability that I love because I watched your video on your channel, and you can tell individual ships to ditch, and they'll actually hyperspace out. So you can save them as long as they have their engines still work, right? Because you could still disable their engines and they can't run.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
it does
So
rely on the engines.
you were telling me tractor beam. Yes, we need that. You were telling me about that ability and how it's you actually will be like collecting back your fighters, and you had to change how the fighters work to make that system work properly.
Yeah, so one of the concerns when we announced that you could retreat individual ships that people had was that they could just build like a bunch of carriers, fly them in, drop all the fighters, and then fly them out so they could get an infinite amount of fighters.
Destroyer here.
So what we ended up having to do was change the way the fighters are actually spawned, which allows us to keep track of which fighters came from which ships. And then if you do try to retreat a ship that has fighters in the field, it'll wait until its fighters have redocked with it before it leaves the battlefield. And then you get it back once you go on the galactic level. But yeah, so a lot of stuff like a lot of abilities like that, which we're doing for Imperial Civil War, we're going to be working into Fall of the Republic and trying to work in a lot of story events like the era system that we have in Imperial Civil War. We'll be working into Fall of the Republic. In Imperial Civil War, the way it works is instead of having a traditional tech tree, we have story-based events in that mod. It's you kill the Imperial leader, and then it advances through the timeline of the Legends universe in that time period. In Fall of the Republic, for the initial release, what we're doing is different ways to progress through the 3 years of the Clone Wars. So there will be some element of technological research, but a lot more of it will be event-based. So some story missions.
You actually get it. Okay, so you guys are putting in story missions to push the phases of the Clone War forward.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! I'm so excited for that mod.
The aim
bring
is
on
still
the
for it to
Avengers.
be sandboxy, but with some extra story elements on top of that.
Very cool.
Heavy cruiser standing by.
Where's your fleet at? Let's take a look back at where we're at in the game. I see your fleet's moving out. You're heading into what?
I'm
is
going
this
for
system?
Trandosha and Patrick Minor.
Trandosha. Oh, you're going at the same time. You're hitting them both. Okay, so there's Trandosha. Are you? Oh, that's one of your scouts. I just enslaved the Wookiees, so we're looking good on that front.
Haven't they suffered enough?
Nope.
Okay.
Reporting.
No, they haven't. Obviously not. That's why we're here. Do you want to push hard for the Republic? Maybe we can catch them, like
which one
keep
are they?
pushing
The
that
green?
direction. They're kind of like directly across from me.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, I'm gonna start pushing north. Let me. I'm also pushing out my broadcast centers. Now, what kind of do I get any bonuses for that? For having Oh, I can get victory classes
For the broadcast centers? or-
Yeah, for the broadcast centers. I haven't picked what regime I'm gonna go with yet. I think I'm gonna start hitting Abdallah.
The culture for the Remnant isn't as important as it is for someone like the New Republic. Like the New Republic, if they are fighting in their own culture, they get significant combat bonuses. For the Remnant, a lot of their culture texts are just centered on trying to keep out enemy culture, so you won't be able to spread it as much usually.
Okay.
It's essentially just for your allegiance for the planets, but if you are playing someone like the New Republic, then you're going to be focusing on that a lot.
Gotcha. All right, I'm just going to start working on my economy. I'm so failing at doing research properly, like getting my my income up there. I'm working on the victory class, and I have decided to recruit or switch my allegiance to Dala. I don't know what her story is. What's her deal?
So, during the time of the main Galactic Civil War, so the original trilogy, she was sort of Tarkin's protege. She was at the Maw installation where they did a lot of the weapons research, and because they were in the middle of the Maw, she wasn't in contact with the rest of the Empire until like 10 years later. So she came out of the Maw having not heard from anyone for a while to find out that the Empire had pretty much fallen apart.
Oh, lovely.
And was broken into a bunch of different warlord factions. So what Dala did was she was the one who got all the Imperial warlords together, took them to Sauce Beacon in the Deep Core, and killed them all with, like her and Pelion were working together. She lured them all into a conference, essentially, and her and Pelion put on gas masks and gassed all the warlords, and she was responsible for reuniting the Empire.
Cold-blooded?
Yep.
Oh, no wonder she's one of your... I don't know. I feel like I joined the wrong side. She's going to gas me. Maw installation, and that's why she gets the research. I love how you guys have incorporated the lore. So, supporting her gives me max allegiance increase 15%. What does that mean?
On your planets, the way they interact with culture, you'll see that right now you have 100% on most of your planets, you should.
Okay. I see. So this is the
kind of
the resistance against the Republic's ability to kind of eat away at my the allegiance of my people. Okay. And then I can do the Maw installation, which is what you were just talking about, which is minus 5% cost in research decrease. Yeah, I can do that twice. Let's do both of those. Save some money.
So Dala's really good at researching, obviously, because of the Maw installation being a research center. And you will get 2 executors once you get up to Titan level. So you'll have Dala as a hero who has her own executor, and then the actual executor that you build.
Oh, man. Digging it. Oh, I used up all my logistics centers. I can't actually put a trade port here. Cool. I want to super ships. That sounds amazing. I can do tactical logistics. Sell a little bit of Durasteel.
Ooh, it looks like we had a Siruvi invasion event. If you look down at Merker,
I'll ping it for me.
So the Empire of the Hand is currently fighting the Siruvi, the dinosaur guys.
Can you ping it again? I did not see that.
You zoom out. Hold on.
Oh, I can hold Alt to see the names, too. Yeah, it's totally not showing up as a...
Oh, you can also turn that on. If you look from Kashyyyk, if you go down to the next planet, down to the left, and then down to the left again. Also, if you go into menu and then interface, there will be a box you can tick saying show names, and then it'll always have the planet names on.
I need that in
Very
my life.
helpful.
Yeah, this is a fresh install, so I don't need the tactical grade, though. That should work. All right, what planet was I looking for? I'm sorry.
Merker. So from Kashyyyk down and to the left twice. It's currently an Empire of the Hand planet.
Okay. There it is.
I've got a scout just about to go in. So you can't see it right now, but it'll be revealed in a second.
Okay.
So the white neutral-looking ships there are actually a random event that spawned in. So Siruvi, they're a race of kind of saurian. They look like dinosaurs. They're raptors, and they have these egg-shaped ships. They tried to invade the galaxy right after Endor, but they got stopped by the New Republic or the Rebels and the Empire kind of working together, and the Empire of the Hand had crushed them. So we worked in them as an event that they can start attacking the galaxy and they can spread.
Okay.
And right now they are trying to do that.
Completely destroyed. Do you got that, or do you need backup? Oh, that's actually the
that's the
enemy.
Empire of the Hand.
That's
so
the Empire of the
if
Hand,
they win, that's fine for us.
And if they don't, well, that's also fine for us, as long as we can deal with the lizard people. Nice ships.
It might still be a little overpowered, but during the actual development phase for that,
Yeah.
they would, if they spawned early enough, they would, within about the first hour of the game, take over pretty much every planet and have full stacks of ships everywhere. So we tuned it down a bit, but we might be in a little trouble if the Empire of the Hand can't beat him there.
Crap. Okay. Well, if they beat the hell out of them and win, we can probably go over there and mop up. Grab some extra mines.
Destroyer here.
It looks like they don't control any of the planets, which is usually what you got to be afraid of.
Okay.
So
because I'm
we
only
should
one
be
jump
good.
away. I didn't realize Rishi is where my fleet is right now. I'm right
Yeah.
next to them. Took me forever to find this planet, by the way. I'm sure the audience has already typed their angry comments. It's right in front of you, Shaq. And I'm bad, and I should feel bad. But
People aren't mean in YouTube comments.
never. Actually, my audience, to be fair, is really, really awesome. All right. Well, I'm right next to it. I don't know.
I wouldn't go in there. It's already controlled by the Empire of the Hand.
Okay, so it's
So
just
it
their
might be a
problem.
bit hard.
Now they won't spread. I'm gonna go to Nar Shaddaa now. They won't spread unless they take a planet, right? The lizard people.
Correct.
Okay.
So we should be safe as long
Destroyer
as they keep that planet.
Captain
I
reporting.
think part of the fun of the new lore is what are they going to reintroduce? So, like, one of the issues that I was complaining about, I think it was right before the season of Rebels started, before they reintroduced the Quasar. I was like, that's one of my favorite ships, and it's an old freighter converted into, like a fighter carrier that the Rebels use. I think it's awesome. And then, sure enough, like a month later, they did the episode with them capturing a Quasar and using it as a home base. It's like, yes, that's awesome. Or the interdictors have been reintroduced. So I don't know. That's kind of the fun that I've been having with the new
Destroyer ready.
lore.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that we did take from the new lore, the Quasar. If you see one in this game, if you zoom in on it, the design we're using is actually the one from the new canon because
Destroyer here.
it's a much more updated design instead of the Star Wars Rebellion one from, I think, the mid-90s or whatever.
It had like a bunch of hangar bays, didn't it? What was the big difference there?
Moving.
Yeah, instead of being the old version was like a single open box for the hangar. With the Rebels design, it was like partitioned into 4, and it made a lot more design sense.
Hyperspace jump
I
complete.
definitely like how the new one looks. I think it's time to up our build cap. I want to go for some capital
Our
ships.
allies have arrived.
Looks like our fleets are finally going to be
Are we
Destroyer
meeting
working
up?
together here.
Oh, yeah, there you are. Nar
An
Shaddaa,
Imperial fleet is under attack.
my ISDs. I haven't seen your fleet since we started this shindig. See what you got. A couple of
Still the ugly old
Arquintans.
Lugarok model, but
Lots of Arquintans, and any more Venators? Or are you only rocking the one still? Did it survive?
I only have the one. I haven't researched the ability to build them yet.
Oh, okay.
Yet that's the same one. It's still limping along.
Oh, I was gonna pick up some victories. That's what I was saving up for. Go ahead and do that. So cruisers, victory 2. So victory 1, victory 2. The big difference here is just damage.
Their loadouts are actually fairly different. The VSD-1 uses a lot of concussion missiles.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So they're more about upfront burst, and then they lose a lot of their damage for a while, whereas the VSD-2 has less upfront damage, but more consistent damage
Okay.
with the turbo lasers.
Groups and ordnance loaded.
Well,
Awaiting
I'll build
orders.
2 of each, and we'll get to see that firsthand.
Ready for a ground assault.
I got my first hero in.
Captain reporting.
She should be on her way shortly.
Let's see, regime. Now my heroes, I'm guessing it's all under the regime change research.
Yeah, so for the Dala tree, you just get Dala. Because she is in an SSD, and you get 2 SSDs. But
Wait, civic research structure requires 1 point in last stand. Oh, last stand's above it. I just don't have the cash for it. All right. I'm figuring it out. Don't mind me.
all right, I'm gonna leave this planet for you,
Okay. I could use the research points.
and
Kashyyyk.
then
Cruiser
I'm
ready.
gonna make sure they're not on autocast before. There we go. And I'm gonna head over back up to Trandosha.
You gonna take it? Or did you
Yeah,
want
I'm going to go up to Trandosha through Mekis and Rhodia. If you want to go on to Dagobah and take that.
Yeah, I can do that.
And we should be able to have some good
Yeah.
access to their planets.
Yay, Swamp Planet. Yeah, I can do
Carrot
that.
commander
There's
here.
still a ship alive,
Carrot
guys.
en
Oh,
route.
nope, there it goes. Just detonated.
Carrack en route.
No one survives. Get back there.
Destroyer here.
I think we're on a pretty low AI level, so we
Destroyer
shouldn't
here.
have too much of a fight here.
Destroyer here.
Or we shouldn't struggle too much.
You say that. See, now you've said it, and
Carrot
watch
en
what
route.
happens if we get wrecked. All because of me, because I'm a total noob right now. Grab
Losing
another
is
trade
more
outpost. Good grief. We did a, what was it? Like
Cruiser.
5 versus the Borg, Star Trek Armada, a couple of
Destroyer
years
ready.
ago. And
Yeah,
skin of our teeth, man.
Captain reporting.
I think Gull told me about that when it happened.
Oh, we did a whole series on it, and it was so close. So close. Like, we threw everything we had at them. That was back when, I don't know how the Borg are now, because that's had multiple updates, and I haven't played it since, but they were just wickedly hard to beat back then. Like, one cube was just enough. We had all team up against one of them. It was crazy. So, which I still want to get, me, you, Gull, a couple other guys from the Sins community, and just do some epic matches.
That'd definitely be fun.
Destroyer here.
There's a lot of good mods out there now.
En route.
Definitely.
An allied ship is
All the
under
major
attack.
sci-fis are covered.
Victory cruiser ready.
Now, have you had a chance to do anything with Stellaris yet? Have you tried it out?
Captain on deck.
I was doing a vanilla series for a while. I haven't gotten too much into any of the mods that are available. I am still terrible at the game, just in general, so I didn't want to go in too deep just yet.
Never stopped me, man. Part of the fun is figuring it out, or learning the mechanics as you play. I love
Moving
it.
to sector.
I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. Like the I've not looked at too much on the new XCOM because I'm really excited to just jump in and try it. Do I need civilian or do I need for regime change? It's civics. Okay, civic research. Let's go ahead and get a couple of those down. I'm trying to catch up to you now.
XCOM is still a game that I get really far behind with a lot of games. Like, I didn't finish Oblivion until the day Skyrim came out,
Reporting.
and I assume I'll finish Skyrim at some point as well. But
If my fleet has joined you at Dagobah. Yeah, that's pretty intense. Like that, what was that? 5 years at least?
yeah, like I'll start a game and then I'll just play nothing but it for a week, and if I don't finish, something will distract me from it, and then after like 3 days, it's like, oh well, I forget what was happening, so there's no point in doing it now. Then eventually I'll get back to it, but that happened with I still haven't finished Mass Effect 1, Dragon Age 2. In my defense, that one wasn't fantastic.
No, it wasn't. I can't blame you for that. Though Mass Effect 1 makes me a little sad. I can't say much either, though. It sounds like you've got the same gamer ADD that I do, where it's just like, oh, something
Yeah.
shiny. Oh, I got to work on this. Oh, there's this new mod out. Like, and you just never actually finish anything.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I started doing YouTube stuff, because I felt like if I'm recording it, then
Destroyer here.
I'm going to have to space it out a bit more, and
Moving
there
to
will be
sector.
people holding me accountable for finishing it.
Where is it? I mean, but the other part is you still have to be
Destroyer
having
here.
fun, right? Like, it's no fun to
Yeah.
watch if you are not having
Deploying to
fun.
sector.
That's something that I had to come to terms with, because I had the same idea. I was like, well, if I start a Let's Play of it, I'll do 50 episodes and it will be completed. But if you're 20 episodes in and you're just not really enjoying it anymore, you gotta call it.
Yeah. It wasn't even that with the games that I stopped playing, I wasn't enjoying them. It was just I'd play so much of them that I'd want to take a few days off and then I'd just forget about them. So if I'm recording them, then it's like I can only record maybe 3 episodes in a day before I start losing my voice. So
I can understand that.
I don't get that same burnout.
All right, let's do a
Forces
quick
me to
check.
pace myself.
Quick check on our Victory class ships that we ordered up. Did you guys
Star Destroyer
make
ready.
it? Where the hell are you
What
guys?
are your orders?
What are your orders?
They got lost
Yeah, well,
transporting Wookiees.
they
An allied ship.
they
is
get
under
lost when they
attack.
follow my directions. That's the problem.
Oh, if you look at Bastion, it has some of the shipyard rings going on there.
Let's see.
So that plant would have a boost if you were to build a shipyard there to ship production.
Bastion,
It's
here it is.
in Fog of War right now, so it's one
I
jump
see the
off
ring.
from
Your
Exodo.
fleet is under
It's
attack.
probably really hard to see on YouTube, guys, because I know this map's a little dark right now, but there's the ring, which I think we want that. That could actually be our front line on this side of the galaxy, where I can start building my reinforcements. Did my victories...
Star
I'm just going to look at
Destroyer
my
ready.
fleet, see if you guys actually showed up. So we've got our 3 ISDs, the Retaliator, the Revenge, and the Resolute. And we have no victory classes.
Ooh, you are getting attacked at Rishi. The Siruvi have decided to expand,
Crap.
so we might want to do something about that too.
All right. Do you want to... Where is your fleet right now? You guys should have... Oh, I see you over there. When you're finished doing what you're doing, do you want to join up with me at Dagobah, and we can move in together
Yeah,
and
we'll
wipe
just
them
go
out?
straight for...
Ready.
Crap, that's probably
anywhere
what
that's
happened to
getting
my
attacked by
victory
Siruvi.
classes.
Because if they're coming from there, then that probably means they won at Merker.
Yeah. They didn't take the
Or
planet, though.
here. I don't know the last time we've scouted it, so it's
Oh, that's true.
possible they did.
Yes.
I'm going to send a scout directly in there.
Stormtroopers have secured a planet.
It's time we picked up the ISD Mark II. Governance. Crimson Command. So are the Crimson Command victory classes better than the
Yeah,
traditional
they
ones?
have a couple extra weapon emplacements.
Okay, cool. I'll save my cash then for when I unlock those. Yeah, Rishi's getting just wrecked. I didn't build any defense there either because I didn't think we'd be... I thought we'd be pushing up farther and our front line would be closer to their actual territory.
Destroyer here.
It doesn't look like the New Republic has expanded that much,
En route.
so I don't think they're past Belderone and Rhodia.
The Empire cannot afford such expenditures at the moment.
But I've got Trandosha, so I'm going to head back and try to help you at Rishi.
Sounds good. Grab a trade post out here too.
Captain.
Yeah, I'll wait here. I'll hold,
Moving.
and then we can move in at the same time, so...
Reporting.
not going
Their
by
ships aren't the
myself.
best, it's just there ends up being
Star
so many of them
Destroyer
once they get a foothold.
Research complete.
Oh, so these are all fighters here. They've got... Yeah, they've only got a handful of ships, it looks like. 1,200 health.
Star
How does that
Destroyer
compare
ready.
to a Star Destroyer? 5,000 just hull by itself. Okay. I might just go ahead and go in there. I'll meet you over there.
To sector.
Let's go, boys. Oh, hey, my
The
victories
Empire
showed
Handbook
up.
kills a lot of their stuff too.
What are
They've
yours?
arrived. I like the model. I love that when I zoom in on them, I can hear the TIE fighters just chilling out next to them. Great.
I heard a ping, but I don't see where the
Victory
ping was
cruiser
pinged.
ready.
It was at Dagobah. I was just really happy to have
What are
found
your
my
orders?
victory classes.
Oh,
Understood.
yeah.
I remembered where I parked. So,
Moving to sector. Our allies.
all right, see you coming out of hyperspace now.
Yeah.
So why
if
is
I was
it...
a good player, I'd set them all to move together, but I'm not, so I didn't.
Ha! I set mine. I at least
you
did
go.
that right. Now, why is it like? What's the lore behind your faction having the Looser
A
Hulks?
new facility is complete.
So that was the Pentastar alignment. We wanted to have a bit more fighter focused, and one of the things we did in the last few versions of Imperial Civil War for them to make them a bit more unique was give them the option to buy some stuff belonging to the Corporate Sector Authority if they took their planets. Just because both were sort of corporate focused factions.
Mm-hmm.
But we've since removed that because the Corporate Sector Authority was more aligned with Zinj, and they ended up getting a lot of the Confederacy stuff after the Clone Wars. So we tried to have it as a sort of branch thing where they could buy assets belonging to the corporate sector. We do eventually want to remove the Lucre Hulk from them in this mod, but for now it's kind of tenuous having them there in the first place.
Yeah,
So
I was just
that's essentially
wondering.
what.
I figured it was something like they bought some old mothballed ships because they were cheap and they had access to them or something. But
Yeah, we tried going that direction with them a bit in the past, but it ended up with a lot of people thinking that the Pentastar alignment was just this like Clone Wars resale faction, which isn't super accurate. And then they tried using that as the fact that we had as many as we did as justification for asking us to add in all the other Clone Wars ships that we haven't done. So it was like, this has gone too far. We need to put a stop to this.
And now, for everybody who's been complaining about that, you guys are actually making a Clone Wars era mod. So
yeah,
there you go.